Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 7th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, that's good. So let me go ahead and send this link out to you guys here in the premium. All right, links are sent out. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Again, I'm going to mark up the closest prices, not going to go too far out. Now into the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. And down to the 10 over here. All right, so it looks like we're good to go. As you guys can see, big spike in price over here due to the NFP news this morning. Got that right there. Going over to our clean chart from the markup 6:30. Markup 8 o'clock. Gonna go on the 4-hour real quick, identify structure. Down to the 2-hour, sorry, 1-hour. Identify structure right there. And support right there. All right, so back to the 1 minute. We got the 1-hour support right here down below. See what happens here when market opens. So we got the 1-hour support below and 1-hour resistance above right here on our clean chart. It's pretty far off, but possibility of it to be a certain point. Let's go over here to our main chart. So I believe we had news over here at 5:30. And then news at 7 o'clock. So 5:36 and 7 o'clock. I'm going to put some stuff here so that we know what news event this is. This is NFP. And then this is at 6 o'clock was like used car sales, not really a big deal for us. So I'm gonna, well, it wouldn't really matter. It's right in between the session. Session's right here. just so that we're aware. All right, so that looks like all the news for today. Um, that's about it. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 7th. It is 6:26 right now. Happy Friday, everyone. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. So I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 38,924. That's pretty close right here. This might get hit pre-market, might get hit right on open. The level above it's going to be at 38,960, sorry, 38,996. And the closest level below is going to be at 38,716. So these are the closest three levels of liquidity to current price. This high over here was established based off the NFP news. So price will probably come up and touch this at some point. That's like target price point if price does push that high. Vice versa, this is the low from the news earlier, not from the actual news candle, but from the news reaction to the news. Price was up here, spiked up, spiked down. And these are the two levels where price is likely to push to. If price wants to fill the gap over here, it's going to go and push up to this level. And if it wants to continue back down, it's going to push down to this level. So we'll see what happens here when market opens. You know, people are going to react to the news on market open. So we'll see what happens there. That's pretty much it. So we got liquidity there marked up. We have the clean chart over here. We have our main chart here. We have the PRB possibly for a buy. And there's no VV3 possibilities here just yet. So we'll see what happens. So morning, Sadie, morning, Nick, morning, Daniel. Yeah, definitely huge spike from that NFP news this morning. Per usual, kind of what we expected. Not with the direction necessarily, but the spike, let's see. So the NFP news was actually positive. Yeah, Rashida just asked me as soon as I say, yeah. So the news is actually positive, so it might correct back up. So this was based off like, you know, initial reaction to the news. But the news was positive. So like over here, non-farm payrolls private was actually a lot higher. It was plus 59K. And then non-farm payrolls for May was plus 87K. So it was a lot higher than it was expected. Consensus was supposed to be a little high. It was forecasted to be high, but not this high. It was like more than double what it was expected. So what might happen here on open is price might push up to fill the gap. I think that's probably what's going to happen. It's going to hit liquidity here, fill the gap, and then reach the next level of liquidity right there. That's a possibility. I mean, it doesn't mean it have to happen, but my guess is that it probably will be. So we got 2 minutes till market open. And yeah, we'll see where this takes us. So I know a lot of people were asking if I can just like focus more on the charts, and I'm going to try to do that moving forward, guys. I know we kind of go off topic sometimes because the market gets a little slow, but for the most part, I'll try my best to just focus on the charts here and not really go off topic as much. I know it's kind of annoying sometimes when I do it, but a lot of the times I just do it to pass time because the market's so slow. But I'll find ways to analyze the market so we can just stay focused and in tune with what's going on versus, you know, talking about other stuff like politics and stuff. Even though the politics does uh, um, kind of fall in line with trading, I'll try to keep that to a minimum. So yeah, main focus is on trading. If you guys have any questions, you know, I'll probably save those questions till the end. I'm probably not going to look at the chat during the live session. I'll just be analyzing the charts all throughout. So, all right, guys, market is about to open and market is now open. So we got opening price right here. Going to color that blue. Patricia said, careful with Rhythmic. Yeah, so it looks like Rhythmic has another issue. So if you guys are trading with Rhythmic, just be careful, be mindful of it. Thanks, Patricia, for the heads up. All right, so we got everything here. Market is now open, guys. There's something here that I'm going to be looking at too, guys, on the levels. Um, Kind of discussed this with a few people in the group, mainly Nick for the most part. Um, so with the levels over here, what I did yesterday is I did some research on like what the other people in Apex are doing. They're doing something very similar to our NPS entry. So what I did was I kind of took a deep dive into the NPS and I looked for I try to look for a variation to the regular NPS because typically we'll take the trade-off to the momentum. And what I realized is that you can trade the NPS off these whole numbers here. So just a heads up. I mean, it's not necessary, but I'll be looking for certain entries here. So for example, here, if this breaks and closes past, and the problem with the strategy here for new traders is that it requires a bit of discretion. So like, for example, here, you don't need to wait for an actual trend to confirm. Like for example, here, I can see price is starting to trend to the downside, right? So if I see this candle break and close below this whole number, which is the 50 mark right here, I could expect price is going to retest this, right? When it retests it, I'm expecting it to bounce back off lower. So I'm going to be forward testing the strategy a little bit. Not on my actual accounts yet. I'm thinking about maybe starting some other accounts on the side just to test this out. But yeah, it's a strategy that I think works very well, especially if the market is moving decently volatile. And it's a one-to-one too, so it works really well, and I think it's something that people would be interested in. So basically what I'm using here is I'm using all of the indicators for the most part to identify my direction. 15-15, Daniel. Because the 10-10 could work, but I think it's a little too tight. So I'm the way I'm testing and the way I've back tested it is through 15-15. There's going to be a lot more entries. If you guys are applying this type of strategy, it comes up more often because price breaks and closes past structure, more often than not, or not structure, but the whole numbers. I was running a 15-15 and it's pretty decent. I mean, usually there's like there's going to be a lot of wins and a lot of losses. So at the end of the day, you'll probably end up with like, net 1 win or net 2 win. Sometimes you break even, but you just gotta be really, really focused on the charts. So for example, over here, I'm using momentum to identify the direction of price. So momentum, you can see the trend meter right here shifting to blue. So this is indicating that the trend is attempting to shift. And then you can see over here also from the pivots, they're attempting to shift as well. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to break past this whole number, this 50 mark, look for it to retrace. The pending order would be waiting right there, right? The limit order. And then it'd be something like a 15-15. But I'll show you guys when it comes up. It's not here yet. So if this here closes, there's like 15 seconds left on it. And don't worry, there's no entries available for the actual strategies because there's no trend yet. So I'm just going to show you guys this as an example of like, I think I'm going to call this MPS levels or something like that. Okay, so for example, right here, we have the bearish, I have somewhat of a bearish trend. It's not established, but it's somewhat of a bearish trend. What I would do here personally is I would set a pending order here for a sell for a 15-15. It's a one-to-one. This is why you're able to take more entries with this type of strategy. I'm not taking this here. I'm just testing it. Again, we're forward testing this here. I did a lot of testing on this yesterday. It worked pretty well for the past couple, whatever data I had to work with. The 1 minute only gives you so much data. But from what I've seen, it's basically an MPS. It's an MPS, except you're not going off the tens, you're going off the whole numbers. So we'll kind of see how this plays through. There's no entries right now. Currently, it's going to be at red flags anyway, so there's nothing for us to take here, even if we wanted to. So the trend is starting to shift a little bit, but there's not really any entries here available for us at this very moment. Here's a clean chart. So I'm not sure if this here hit. I wasn't looking at it to see where it played through, but it looks like it might have. It looks like it might have triggered it and it came down super fast to hit TP right there. Because you can see from the little line, little squiggly right there, that it hit, but I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. Either way, it looks like this might come back down. And if it does, there's an example of the strategy. It's basically an MPS, but it is a one-to-one, and it's based off the whole numbers, based off the hundreds and the 50s. Nice. So Natasha here actually took it. Thanks for trusting in it, Natasha. So Natasha actually took it and she said it hit for her. So it looks like this one here is done. I just want to show you guys an example of what I was looking at and what I've kind of been testing. And right there again, it would have hit either way. So this is why the 15-15 kind of works a little better versus the 10-10. The 10-10 is a little too tight. So you can see over here, the 10-10 is kind of tricky. 15-15 does work pretty decent. So I'll continue to look for these here. If you guys want to take them, feel free to follow through. If I see any actual entries here, of course, I'm going to take the actual entries, but I'm always thinking outside of the box. I'm looking at the reason why I saw this is because I was looking at the top Apex traders, right? The top Apex traders who are getting payouts, and we all kind of know each other, of course, because we all kind of are in the space. And a lot of them are trading exactly like we are. They're actually doing a 1030. I saw this guy yesterday. I'm not going to name him, but he was doing a 1030, and I was like, that's exactly how we set up our trades. And he was like, yeah, no, I got it from your live stream. And I was like, oh, okay. But there's a lot of people who actually are starting to trade kind of similar to how we do. They're using negative risk rewards and they're killing it. Like they're getting crazy payouts every single month, every single 2 weeks. But their main strategy is that they're trading like NPS. So I'm looking for ways to kind of incorporate that into our indicators here because it does work. It works really well. So same thing right here again. And because it's a one-to-one strategy, you can take a lot of these entries. You don't really have to just like be picky. I mean, you do have to be picky to some extent, but you don't have to like be too scared to take entries because it's a one-to-one. So in a situation like that, you can like literally take like 5 trades and be okay because you're going to balance out at the end of the day. So back to yeah, Rashida said maybe we do one per momentum. So I was looking at that too. Rashida, that's probably the more conservative way of doing it. The only problem is like yesterday we had like one momentum and it kept dropping, right? So there was like a bunch of entries. I think one per level is probably better. So like if you took one at this level already, then leave it alone. But if price drops below this level right here and does the same thing, you can take another one right there. So yeah, per momentum is probably the most conservative way of doing it. But there's going to be some days where like this thing will just carry on forever. Like this buy signature came up, right? Bounced, bounced, lost. You'd have 2 wins, 1 loss to one. So in a situation like that, you'd have 1 net win. But we'll keep testing it. For right now, we'll keep it as raw as possible. And then if we need to make some adjustments to it, like once per momentum, once per level, then we'll do that as well. But this is pretty much like based off pure price action. It's like price action, and then you're using whole numbers as your catalyst. But all right, guys, so we currently have a bearish trend right here. There's no entries here because price is at the red flags at news price and sessions. You guys can see how price gets manipulated off these price points. Again, this is why we avoid them. And we'll leave it as is. Let's see. So Rashida said, how did you map your lines? So to map the lines, I went over here to the levels indicator. I set it to 10 lines. You can put more levels if you want, but I put 10. 10 is fine. And then the levels of range is 50. So at every 50 point, at 50 and 100, it's going to draw whole number lines. So that's what I did. I did 10 and 50. You can add more if you want, but I think 10 is fine. It covers a pretty good space. Hey, what's up, Aaron? How's it going? Man, Aaron's been killing it with gold, and his Bali retreats kind of makes me a little jealous. If you guys remember Aaron in the group, he has his trading group as well, and he's been doing a lot of trading retreats like in Bali and stuff like that. If I was younger, that would have been the move, but at this point, probably not going to happen. But it's cool. I mean, that'd be pretty cool to have, retreats like that. All right, so there's no entries here available yet. So again, like I said earlier, guys, this could be a possible entry, but for me personally, I probably would stick away from this level because we've already used it. I mean, we just mark it up to see if it actually bounces off here, but it looks like it's not going to. The reason why you don't want to use level more than once is because it'll typically reverse from that point, right? If it's pushed past that level, it's probably going to reverse, and then now it's going to push up. And then you can possibly look for the same thing up here. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for, but I would first have to see everything shift. Like I would have to see the trend meter shift, momentum shift, divergence shift, the trend here shift. And once I have that shift in trend, then I'm like, okay, I can start looking for something like this now. Or like, for example, here, if the trend starts to shift a little bit right here, you can catch this right here as well. But again, I wouldn't use the same level because we've already used this level here. I would look for something up here. All right, so there's still no entries here for us because there's no trend established. So don't worry, guys, we're not missing out on anything here. Price is kind of just going back and forth, as you guys can see. There's no PRB here because the trend never really established yet. There's one rejection. There's no continuation from there. All right, so we have a new support level marked up right here. Once you have the resistance, I will put that up. But there's our clean chart. Price pretty much came back and rejected off this point here. Price is pushing back to open. As you guys know from the liquidity, as we mentioned earlier, if it does correct back up, it's probably going to push through the liquidity here and try to reach the next level up here, which is going to fill the gap from NFP news this morning. Yeah, no, definitely, Aaron. Yeah, I've been great. I know you've been great. So for sure, yeah, if you ever have one in the US, let me know. Pop in. All right, guys, so we don't have anything here yet. As you can see, the trend is starting to shift to the upside. You guys can look for a possible opportunity again over here. Gotcha, Nick. Yeah, there was a breakout V3 continuation that came up right here. I personally would have stayed away from it because I didn't have a confirmation of the trend yet, but it did play through. Thanks for shooting for the heads up right there. It pushed right to opening price. There was another entry right here too. So if you guys saw it, this candle here broke and closed past it. And then it came down to retest it. So you got to be really quick with this entry here. So the MPS levels, you typically would have to like watch it because this thing moves too fast. You guys can see how it came up real quick, and then you'd have to have your pending order already just waiting there. And it would have pushed up for 15.15. So you guys can see this strategy is really lucrative. Like if you guys can focus on the chart, these entries are going to come up. They're going to come up super quickly. Natasha took it. She hit her TP right there. Rashida said she had a pending order to touch the liquidity. Nice. So Rashida over here also took the liquidity push. There's a lot of entries that are coming up here, guys. They're just not falling under my criteria right now, so I'm not taking them. But it's pretty much doing what we were expected. Price is climbing up to that point there, of course. For the target price point. So we don't have a high here. The high here is pending. It's not established yet, but once it's established, I'll come back and mark that up. There's no entries here, like actual normal entries that we're looking for because, obviously all the red flags here. Yeah, Nick said too many sessions for me. Rashida said it's going to the levels you mentioned. Yeah, if it keeps pushing up, I think it's going to push up to the next level up here. I mean, this is a target price point to fill a gap, right? 'Cause there's a gap right here from NFP. Basically, this red candle prior to this down here. It filled most of the gap already, but it's still got a ways to go if it decides to keep on pushing further. So as you can see here, two levels have been used already. These two have been used. So I wouldn't take any more levels entries off these 2 points. If anything, if price pushed above here, possibility of that being used. I think that's probably as conservative as you can get for now. It's just using not reusing a level, because whenever price comes back down, it's probably going to reverse to the next level back below, right? So I mean, this is a cool addition to the strategy. It's just going to be a lot of things to look out for. I think this would probably be the one that has the most work because it's just you have to focus on like when I guess you could like not pay attention to it, but then once price gets close to the level, you have to pay attention to it because you have to look for that retracement, pushback, retracement, push back up because it happens so quickly. So again, right here, another bounce. If you wanted to take another one, I mean, technically you could if you wanted to. I personally, like I said, I need to find some sort of conservativeness with this strategy because I don't want to take every single one that comes up. But yeah, this trick could be setting up for divergence. So there's another confluence right there. So we got that marked right there. Let me see where the divergence might be happening. Yeah, if price bounces off this point here and pushes back up further, there could be a possible divergence. Yeah, but again, so here's another reminder why I wouldn't really want to trade or double dip into another level that's been used before. I mean, this will probably push up, but you guys can see how tricky it gets when you're double dipping into a used level. So the price action with this is basically a break and retest. That's pretty much what you're looking for. You're looking for price to break and retest past these whole numbers. So like, you know, the break and retest typically happens like once. It's literally a break and retest. That's like literally what it is. So for example, here, we've already used two levels. So if price comes down here, like say, for example, price comes down to this point to break and retest, and you're just taking it off the whole numbers that are untested, right? Yeah, Rashida said she likes, I like it too. I like it because it makes sense, right? This is just, it's a basic break and retest, but we're using my tools here to really identify certain things. So for example, here, the trend is starting to shift again. So if the trend shifts down, like, all right, there's gonna be a break and retest off here. I mean, you could technically take the break and retest off this level again if you wanted to, because it's kind of like a fresh level again. But, or it actually happened right here, Rashida. Did you see that? For a sell now. So the same thing happened right here, break below, retest it. So as long as you give it space, like for example, use this for a buy already, I probably wouldn't use it for a buy. Now you can use it for a sell. That's another way of using it. Like it's so versatile. It's basically an MPS, but you know, you have to be very quick with looking at the transitions because the trend's gonna like the direction is gonna transition very quickly. Like for example, it was bearish here, then it was bullish here, and then it can be back to bearish here if price decides to climb down even further. Yeah, exactly. Next thing, you just can't have a bias with it. You can't have a long-term bias. You have to be like very quick with adapting with the market. So for example, again, right here, again, I wouldn't take the same level, like I said, but if you see price bouncing back up, you can probably do the same thing again right here to the upside. There's a lot that you guys can work with when applying this strategy. And I'm pretty sure this works on different time frames, so you just have to use a different TP stop loss. Or maybe wait for like the break and close. For this here, you're not waiting for the close, you're just looking for price to kind of break past it, close. And then for the entry, you kind of just wait for it to touch because you're looking for the quick bounce. Like the really quick touch up and then bounce off. All right, so there's no official entries here just yet, guys. We're just waiting. I mean, there's nothing here. There's a lot of red flags around this area. There's opening price. There's the Asia low right there. And we got the sessions down here. If price decides to sit down here, it's perfectly fine. We possibly look for, you know, some V1 variations, maybe some CV entries here as well. I think this level strategy over here works, the MPS level strategy works really well with our trading style, especially in the morning, because it's hard to get a bias in the morning, right? The trend's always shifting. It's like if we wait for the trend to be established, a lot of times it's too late at that point, right? At that point, the price is already ready to shift the other way. So if you're able to just flow with the market, it's easy to just catch these little moves here that kind of push around. But again, I'm going to stay away from these two levels here. If price pushes up higher, I'll possibly look for an entry at this next level, right at 950. I think there's a sessions up there though. Oh, there's a news. So it's the NFP news from earlier this morning. That's actually beneficial for us. So if price does push back up here, retrace to the 50, then bounce up to that level right there. So it's just using confluences. Again, like I said over here with the levels, this is just going to require that you're like fully focused. You're fully focused. You're like paying attention to like price breaking structure. Because when it breaks the price structure right here, you should be on your ninja trader, like being like already ready to set your pending order there. So that's something that I got to practice too. Setting my limit orders, which is not that bad. It's kind of just like setting. I just got to right click on the chart. Market's kind of slow now. All right. So the market kind of died down a little bit here, which is fine. I kind of like that we have the levels here now because you guys can see the consolidation. I think having these whole numbers marked up, from the 50 and the 100 kind of shows you, it shows you pretty much good price structure. Because you can see that price is kind of just sitting between the 900 and the 850 right here without having to draw all the structure yourself. So let's go to our clean chart real quick. So we have these resistance up here now. So this is the actual range. So the actual range is this whole area right here. But then pulling back to the levels indicator or levels chart, you can see that the consolidation is happening between these little smaller whole numbers over here. So you can see the big range, but then the actual consolidation, if you zoom in a little bit, the actual consolidation that's happening right here is really between these two whole numbers, the 900 and the 850. So we're kind of like putting price under a microscope. We're having the bigger picture right here, and then we're having the smaller picture right here on the levels. And then obviously there's no entries here yet, but it's kind of what we'll be looking for. But yeah, if you guys want to test out this level strategy that I just introduced to you guys, from my testing, it's been pretty profitable for the past month, even last month when the market was kind of moving funky, it was still hitting pretty often. So I think it's pretty decent strategy to focus on. And I think this works really well with like a sideways. This works well in all market conditions. So it works well in a sideways market. And then it also works well in a directional market because you're kind of just catching the bounces. You're looking for, and I think the best part about it is that it's a one-to-one. And the second best part about it is that you can set a pending order. I kind of hate entering market orders because sometimes I get in at bad price points. So when you have a pending order there and it's just chilling and waiting to be filled, you get in at perfect price. Like you get in when you're supposed to. So. All right, so we'll see what happens here. It's only 6:55. It feels like we've been on this live session for like over an hour already because the market's so slow now. The thing is, the market's not super slow. It's just consolidating. The ETR is still 23 right now. So the candles are moving. They're just moving sideways. So we'll just shuffle between these two over here. There's no push up yet. So that first level of liquidity already got hit. That was a full TP. Yeah, there's nothing else here, at least not yet. So let's see, price is going back to this lower level right here. So again, at this point, I'm not going to recommend to take this here, but you can see how the trend is starting to shift bearish, right? So like I said earlier, and like how Nick said, you can't have a bias with it because you have to shift. Over here was bullish, and now it's back to bearish, right? It's bearish because price is below the pivots. We have a sell momentum. The trend meter right here is shifting to blue, so it's starting to shift to a bearish trend. And then also the momentum divergence right here is bearish as well. So you just have to, that's where the discretion comes in because not everybody's going to be able to identify like, oh, this is a shift in trend, right? Or this could be a shift in or correction in trend. Um, the direction is always going to be changing like very, very quickly. So a couple things to look for. So the I'll kind of just list them off here. Look at momentum. Momentum is going to be one of the indicators to identify, which direction to be trading in. Also, the trend. If price is below the pivots, obviously look for a possible sell. Look at the trend meter down below. The trend meter down below doesn't change very often. So this could give you a heads up that, okay, this is probably shifting to a sell. And then obviously the momentum divergence right here gives you like the longer aspect, bigger picture of like, okay, what's going to happen next. Because if this divergence shifts bullish, like for example, right here, it's shifting bullish, this could be preparing for a buy signal, back to what Nick is applying to. Exactly. So this lines up with what Nick has been applying, his way of applying the divergence. This could be setting up for a possible shift back to the upside. Yeah, exactly, Nick. I'm on to you. I know. I think me and you are on the same page. So it's always a good confluence, right? Like it's good that we have the community here. I'm not the only one that's kind of giving opinions because there's a lot of different ways to look at the market. There's no one way to trade, of course. I give you guys a foundation. I show you guys what the tools do. But the real way to excel in this market is to understand how to identify little things, right? Use my tools to identify different things. So we're not all looking at the same thing here. Everyone's kind of having a different opinion on things. And it kind of helps you identify certain things that you're looking for. So again, right here, this is what Nick would be looking for. He had the divergence, the pending bias signal there. This will probably push up a little bit. I'm not recommending anybody take this, but it looks like it's going to hit, and it just did. So I don't know if you took that, Nick. There's your strategy right there. So Nick came up with the strategy himself. I had an idea of this because this is how I created the momentum indicator, but Nick kind of put it together for a specific entry and strategy there. So nice work, Nick. All right, so price is getting close to the red flag here, which is opening price. Unfortunately, I was going to look for a breakout V3 continuation, but it's just too close. It's just way too close. Yeah, it's just too close to, well, right now it's really going to be too close to the sessions above. Yeah, Nick said he pulled it at half TP because he's still in the testing phase. Yeah, no, it's fine. So basically what Nick did here is he kind of created something that goes hand in hand with momentum. It's for me personally, I would probably use it as a confluence more so than a standalone entry. Because like Nick said, he's still testing it as well. And there goes the levels right there again. So this is another thing here that I just showed you guys. So like Rashida said, levels right there just got hit right there. So this is what I was saying before, guys. Like you can reuse the levels. It just becomes a little tricky. I think what you should do if you're going to use the levels is to not use it in the same direction. So for example, here we had a bullish, right? So the buy was okay. And then now they shift to bearish. Like, okay, now you can take the sell. And now this shifts back to bullish. So now you can take the buy. Because price pretty much, that's a flow of market right there. Price goes up, comes down, comes up. And this is why I was saying this strategy is good because you can use it in both types of markets. Like the market's going sideways right here, but you can still trade it. Like you can trade it in a sideways market, you can trade it in a directional market. It works both ways. So what I would be looking for here personally is I'd be looking for price to break past this next level, retest it, and push back up from there, of course, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for price to push up to the 50 level over here. and I'll probably be waiting to take some sort of entry at that point. But again, you just have to be watching. You got to be watching for possibility. Uh, See, at this point, I'm like, okay, I might have to buy another mouse because you have to be super quick here. Unless I can find a different way to enter my pending orders. See if there's one here that I can do. Yeah, I know. I want to use the DOM because you mentioned it before, Nick, but it screwed me so bad on the last time I used it that I don't want to use it again. That's probably the best tool because you can just put your order in super quickly. But I wish they had like an order ticket window, like how they did on MC4. I'm pretty sure they do. I just have to figure out how to use it. Let's see if I can find that order ticket. Actually, the thing that confuses me here though is I don't think you can put a TP stop loss on this. I'll have to figure out how to do this like another time because the the yeah, I was trying to set up the OCO, but it's like it's a weird box. I don't know, I'll figure out another time. Yeah, so Daniel said a normal NPS just hit. It was this one right here. Yeah, so this pulled back right here. The NPS filled at the 10 mark and it pushed up. So I'll just keep watching it here. If price pushes up higher to the 50 mark, I'll try to just set it up manually. Yeah, be quick with my fingers. Here, let's do this. Let me see if I can push this over here. Let's see, Nightmare Trading said Apex has been having many issues with Rhythmic. Kind of scared to trade on Rhythmic. Yeah, no, for sure. They've been having issues like all week. I don't think it's just Apex though. It's a lot of other prop firms and stuff that are having issues too. So yeah, just be careful if you guys are using Rhythmic. I'm on Ninja Trader and TraderBait, so I haven't had any issues. So I've been pretty smooth so far. So again, right here, guys, I'm using my touchpad to kind of use the go between the charts over here. I'm looking for price to basically push past. Oh shit, sorry. I need to buy another mouse, or I need to find my old mouse. So I can just use it for the laptop. I'm basically looking for a pattern like this right here. I mean, it's probably not going to push up that high, but using my mouse here on my laptop to possibly set an order. I'd probably be able to see if there's another thing here. I don't even know I had a super double on. All right, well, there's no entries right now, guys, so don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. Just trying to figure out. Let's see. It's not there yet. We're getting close to it. I'm trying to figure out 38950. Okay, I think this is how it would work. I'm using the basic entry box right now. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Limit order. I'm hoping this will work, but I'm gonna watch it real quick. See if it closes above. So if it closes above, you put a pending order at the 50 mark. Let me see if it comes up on my chart. $950. So I got my limit order right
Order
here.
submitted.
There we go.
Order filled.
That's filled right there. Now, see how do I get this shit?
Order submitted.
It's all over the place. It's moving a little fast. Looks like it already probably hit TP already. Did it TP already? I think it did. All right, I'm gonna get out.
Order filled.
I'm out. Quick profit right there. I made 1,000 on that. All right, so I think I figured out how to put my order in. There we go.
Order filled.
Sweet. Okay, so I got in right there, guys. Like I said, if price breaks past it, I'm gonna put my entry at the 15, at the 50. Could have held on to it, but whatever. I just pulled my profit. So I figured out how to do on Ninja, and it's actually pretty smooth. I just have to use a basic entry window box to put my pending entry there. So great work right there, guys. I was supposed to lock in a little more, but I locked in 1,000 per account. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. So you guys can see this strategy is actually really good. I think I'm going to be working on the strategy a lot more. I think this is probably going to be one of my favorite strategies because it works in so many different types of markets. It works in a sideways market. It works in a directional market. And this thing, the best part about this strategy is that you don't have to wait too much, right? Like you don't have to wait for the trends here to kind of shift around and stuff. You're kind of just waiting for price action to happen. And then you're using my tools here to identify the direction. So you're using basically all the tools here to identify which direction you want to trade in: momentum, trend meter, divergence. And then I think the best part that I like about this is the pending order because I get in at perfect price. I'm not like you're kind of like to say bullshitting, right? That's like you're not kind of bullshitting, like waiting for like hitting market and then getting in at like crappy price. I think that's what I like the most about it. The fact that you can put a pending order and you just let the trade do what it needs to do. So great work, guys. Looks like a lot of you guys here locked in profit off that. This recouped a lot of our losses from yesterday. I made some stupid mistakes yesterday. And yeah, so let me take a screenshot of this trade here. We're going to call this the MPS levels, or yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's MPS levels. And just a heads up, guys, because you guys are going to see it right now. So because of the promos that are going on, and I'm only saying this because you guys are going to see my profits on one account, profits are super huge. I just got funded on a new 100K account. So just a heads up, because I pretty much was looking at the strategies over here, and and thanks to Nick here, because Nick is really what's been the backbone to getting me to this point. Because I've been like very iffy about running other accounts alongside my 300Ks, but I think this is like the move for that. I'm just gonna keep passing 100K accounts. I'm gonna trade them individually. And I'm gonna have a bunch of 100K PAs, and then once the 300Ks are all PA'd as well, I'll transfer them over. But just so I get payouts to those accounts. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said need to get paid while you work on the 300Ks. That's exactly what it is. So this strategy here was because I know we're going to get a lot of questions. You're going to be like, what did you do? How did you do that? I basically was applying strategies, all the strategies for the most part. So this is going to be the full TP on the MPS levels. Make this thing full TP on the MPS levels. There we go. Or 15 points. And then I'll take a screenshot. There's no other entries here available right now, guys, so don't worry. Not missing out on anything here. There's just price is kind of going sideways now. Price is above the resistance, and then it'll probably keep climbing. Let's go to liquidity real quick. So if price continues to push up higher, the target price point is going to be liquidity up here, of course. So let me just screenshot my profits real quick so that you guys can see where I'm currently at. But yeah, I'm gonna be trading on my own on these 100K accounts just to just get those funded real quick, because the eval just sucks on the 300K, guys. I don't recommend the 300K for anybody unless you have, like, for one, the patience, and two, the ability to have some other side income, because these 300Ks are going to take forever to pass. Like, that's just the fact of it and how it's going to be. All right, so here are my profits. Pretty much green for the week, green for the month, green for the day. Okay, so there's no entries here. I just want to go over this real quick. There's no entries available right now. Price is a bit overextended. If you measure from this higher low right here up to here, it's up about like 130 points. So it's due for retracement. So probably want to wait for that a little bit there. Again, for the levels, the next level is up here. But I think you want to be careful with the next level because of the overextension. I think price will probably retrace back before it gets to this next level, but we'll kind of see what happens there. Again, today's Friday and it's NFP. So if you guys don't want to keep trading, feel free to wrap it up. We locked in some pretty good profits today. Yeah, James is done. So I'll see you back here on Monday, James. Solid work. And Rashida is all done for the day as well. So here are my profits. Let me just show you guys real quick. So again, this is why I didn't want you guys to be alarmed. You guys can see my first account over here on the 100K. This is the funded account, locked in 6,000 on that one. That's what the profit goal is for the 100K. So that's a PA account already. And then every account here got 1,000. So on the 300Ks, 1,000 per account from that one trade. And then my personal account right here, which executes all of my trades, my Ninja Trader personal account, I locked in 480. So pretty solid. So let's see. All right, so we have price reaching this next level over here. We have more profits here from the team as well. So we've got David here, total profit of 135 for the day. Nice work, David. Yeah, if you guys have more profits post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for opportunities for entry here at 7:15 right now. So I think if the market continues to move sideways, like around 7:30, we'll probably just wrap it up a little early because I know Friday is usually the day where a lot of people make mistakes, and I don't want to influence you guys to take unnecessary risks on a day like this. We'll keep looking for entries. We're not done trading yet, but to be safe, probably going to take it easy. All right, let's see. Nick said, did you get a chance to set up the PA before we started trading? Not yet, unfortunately. We'll do it nice, right, Nick? Added that to the arsenal. The good part about this strategy too is that we're going for, so not only are we going for a 1-to-1, we're also going for a bigger TP, right? Typically you go for like a 10. This will give us more profit. So it gives us more profit plus less risk. So it's a win-win for us, all together when it comes down to it. So I think the strategy here will probably be one of the ones that are going to stick long term. Yeah, Daniel said maybe you should call it levels pullback scalp. Yeah, possibly. We'll brainstorm names, right? It's still in testing phase, so we got a lot of time to figure out a name for it. Or we can just call it levels. I think, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we'll call it. I'm glad I figured out how to use the basic entry box over here because it's so much easier to just set a pending order through this because I can put the actual number and then just set the limit there. All right, so price is pushing to the next level right here. Again, I think price is a bit overextended from what I can see. So I'm probably going to sit out on this one. If you guys want to take it, feel free. I'll mark it up for you guys. So what you're looking for here is you're looking for this candle to break and close past this level right here, which is the 39,000 mark. Price is actually at the liquidity right now. If it continues to push, it might not even pull back. It might just blast right through. Oh, this is a second touch. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So this was a second touch of liquidity right there. Price is at the level. If you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up right here. I'm personally going to sit out of this one right now. I think I traded on tilt yesterday. So for today, I kind of just want to close out the week strong. I don't want to take any dumb risks. So I'm happy with my profits for the day. I made some stupid mistakes yesterday. As you guys saw, I took a second loss when I'm not supposed to. All right, so it hasn't filled it yet, but we'll follow it and watch it here. This is another opportunity for the levels. I think we might just call it the level strategy. That probably makes the most sense. And then from there, if you want to use different whole numbers, then you can call it like, levels B2 or whatever. Okay, so it actually didn't fill yet. Price pushed past here, but it didn't fill yet. The thing I like about this too is that the charts are a lot cleaner. The thing that I might have to add to this though would be the sessions. I'd have to like mark this up as the main chart. Or we can just trade the levels on the main chart actually. Yeah, this just makes things so much easier. Unless you guys don't like it like this, then we can just use a separate chart, but again, doesn't make a big difference. All right, so it hasn't filled yet. I'm not in this position. I'm not planning on taking it. If you guys want to take it at your own risk. I think it'll probably play through, but like I said, I didn't trade well this week with regard to my trade psychology. So I think closing this week in the green is going to be necessary for me, or else I'll go into the weekend feeling like crap. And then next week, I'm probably going to trade on tilt again because I want to bounce back. So I'm going to hold off on this. I think I'm done trading for the week. This looks like it's about to hit. It's filled already, guys. So this is filled. It's not running. And we'll see if this here bounces up. I think it will. There you go. Almost there. And the volatility is too low, like Nick said, full TP right there, guys. So if you guys caught it, great. I mean, it would have been a nice addition to my profits for the day. But again, like I said, I traded on tilt this week. I was really dumb with my trade yesterday. We had a great week, actually. We had like 4 wins, I think, for the week, Monday through yesterday, Thursday, and I screwed up yesterday. Pretty much almost lost all of my my profits for the week. So it looks like some people got it, some people didn't. CJ caught it. All right, CJ might have been the only one. I mean, it tapped it. So you can see over here, it tapped it right at the level. So it didn't fill for Patricia, it didn't fill for Oscar. Did you guys have your order pending? Yeah, I don't know. CJ, did you have yours pending? CJ's got lucky then, I guess. He's like the only one that got it. Yeah, so CJ had his pending too. So it just seems like some people, Tom got it as well. So Tom got it. Yeah, MJ got it. Yeah, sometimes it happens. So it looks like 3 people here caught it. Tom got into it, MJ got it, and CJ got it. Unfortunately, Patricia and Oscar didn't get it. But it's all good, guys. Don't worry. There's enough profit to go around. You know, the strategy is still fresh, so um, we'll continue applying this as price goes along. But I think the biggest thing is that it's a 1-to-1. So this is perfect. So you could win an entry, lose an entry. Like technically, like back with the normal strategies, I would only be able to take 1 loss, right? Because that's basically 2 losses. For this here, you can actually take 2 losses because it's going to be equivalent to 1. So yeah, it's nice. See, Jonathan said I had my copy turned off when we took the first one earlier. It's all good, Jonathan. So we got some profits here. Yeah, if you guys have more profits to post that, feel free to send them in. Natasha locked in 463 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. She caught both of the levels entries today. Nick over here caught 500 on his first account, about 900 on his second. So a total profit, we'll say 1,300 for the day. Nice work, Nick. We got Jonathan here. He forgot to turn on his copier, unfortunately, but did pretty good here. His first account locked in 1,260, second account 900, third account 900. So total profit of well over 3,000 for the day. Great work, Jonathan. And we got more profits here from Natasha, 523. Great work, Natasha. Stacking them up. See, Natasha's doing this on her phone, so I can't complain about entering the trades on my laptop. I gotta be able to do it because Natasha's doing it on her phone and she's killing it pretty much every single day. So great work right there, Natasha. Let's see. Tom said, weird. I must have done something wrong. It took the same contract size across all accounts. So for your copier, you might have set it to because I have mine at pre-allocation, so it's every account's different. You probably have it at exact quantity. That's usually what happens. So we got another level right here, guys. I mean, if you guys want to take it, again, take it at your own risk. I'll follow it through, and if it plays through, great. I'm not going to take the trade here because right now I just don't want to take any risk right now, especially on a Friday. Tom said, weird, I must have done something wrong. Yeah, it's weird. You should have the pre-allocation under method if you're using Replicano, Tom. Not sure which copy you're using, but if you're using Replicano, there should be an option there for pre-allocation. All right, let me check out the YouTube real quick. I know I said we were gonna hold off on answering questions, but because I'm done trading on my personal account so far, I'll just answer questions here. So let's see, Nightmare said, well, you have to connect Rhythmic to NinjaTrader 8. Yeah, exactly. So Rhythmic in general, I mean, you still have to be logged into Rhythmic, which if you can't get the Rhythmic, you can't connect it to Ninja, which yeah, it does cause a nightmare for people who are trading on there. Nightmare said, yeah, next week we have FOMC. That's correct. Kenny said for MPS, just right click the entry point. Yeah, no, that's what I was doing before, but The problem with doing that is if price hasn't reached like, so for example, right here, Kenny, you know, like if we want to get in at the 50 mark and price like hasn't been past it, you can't right click and put a limit. It'd be a buy stop order, and which I don't want because when you do a buy stop order, it fills in that market. Um, so that's why for me, I had to open a ticket window so that I can have it preset. And then as soon as this candle closes above it, it just lines up right there. And then it just puts the line so it's automatically filled when it comes back down. Yeah. If I had another mouse, I could probably do it with that, but I only have one mouse right now. It has different functions on it, but I have to like flip it over and then switch to the different computer. And that's just a little too much work for this type of entry since it happens so quickly. So price hasn't pushed up here yet, guys. It's currently at the sessions. You want to be careful. You know, the sessions is where a lot of manipulation happens. So what might happen here is price might come above, then it might get manipulated and come back up. A lot of things can happen here around the sessions. Let's see, scrolling down, Nightmare is asking, are you using Tradeovate? No, I'm using NinjaTrader. So everything's done on NinjaTrader. Yeah, the DOM on Tradeovate is actually pretty good. So yeah, like you said, with the DOM settings on Tradeovate are good, but I use NinjaTrader to execute my trades because I trade on my personal account. So my personal account trades, it pretty much it executes the trades and then it copies over to all my Apex accounts. So I have my own personal account, my own money, which I do all my trades on. It has a hard stop on it. The reason why I like it is because I have a hard stop on it. So if I ever lose a certain amount of money, I get shut out of NinjaTrader completely. So my accounts turn into liquidate only and I can't revenge trade and I can't overtrade. That's what happened yesterday. So yesterday I revenge traded. Yeah, I basically revenge traded. And then because of my hard stop, it put me at liquidate only. So I couldn't take any other trades after that. See, Nightmare's asking what's your strategy for passing the evals? I mean, there's a lot of strategies, not just one, but this is going to be one of them, of course. We also have the momentum divergence. We have the breakout V3 continuation. We have the PRB. We have the actual BV3. We have liquidity. We have a ton of strategies here that can be applied, and that are applied pretty much daily. I think we have like we have like over 20 strategies that everybody kind of applies. For me personally, I stick to like maybe 1 to 3 strategies, but for the most part, there's a ton of different strategies that can be utilized to get to that point. Daniel's asking, what company do you use for your personal account? I use NinjaTrader. So NinjaTrader is my broker for my personal account. It works because Apex is on NinjaTrader, so I can use the copier. That's the main reason why I use NinjaTrader. And they're pretty good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I think they're pretty solid. You could pay like for a membership up front too. And then they kind of just lower your fees and stuff. Like I think I paid 1,200 up front, and then my commissions are super low compared to like what everybody else is paying. Since I've traded volume, makes sense. Jonathan's asking, what's pre-allocation do? I always use exact quantity. So pre-allocation lets you set the exact contract size per account. All of my accounts use different contract sizes, so that's why I have to use pre-allocation. My personal account, I use 10 contracts. So I make about like 500 per trade of my own personal money. So I can make like 1,000 a day using that. And then for my PA account, I'm using, I think, 6 or 8 contracts. It's a little less because I want to risk a little less. And then for the evals on the 300K, I'm using 20 because I just want to get those passed. So they're all kind of different, different risk on them. The PAs, of course, lower risk because you don't want to risk as much. My personal account, same thing. It's my own money, so I don't want to risk too much. The evals, YOLO, right? Not really YOLO, but for the most part, I take bigger risk on that. It's like above a 1% risk. Daniel's asking, do they have Rhythmic on Ninja? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm assuming they have the option to use Rhythmic, but if you're going to use Ninja, you might as well use Ninja. there's no reason to use arithmetic on Ninja, because if you're using Ninja, you might as well go directly with Ninja, right? So you don't have to use a third party to connect arithmetic to it. That's pretty much why I would directly go through oh, to use Quant Tower. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you do cross-platform. That's why I don't cross-platform myself. Like I was already using Ninja, so now I just use all Ninja. Yeah, I don't know about. I'm trying to think what broker uses Rhythmic. There's a lot of brokers out there though, Daniel. So you could probably look up, Rhythmic broker, and you can find one that works well with yours. Um, there's like pros and cons to both of them. But yeah, it's tough because you can't like really you can't cross them. So there's no entry here, guys. Price never got to that level. Yeah, next hit for him personally, he has 150K and 150K. So he has different contract sizes for both. Yeah, same here. Nightmare is asking. So I'm not on 250K counts. Well, I don't know what let's see, let's go. Let me just do the math real quick. Okay, so if you're on a 250K count, you're trailing drawdown at 6,500, right? So 6,500 divided by, we'll say 4. This is how much you can risk per trade. I mean, depending on your trading style, if you can probably risk less or risk more, but this is how much you want to risk per trade. So you definitely would not be using a 27 contract. That's way too much. 27 times 5 times 15, you're risking way past your threshold, right? So you have to use something smaller. For me, I use a 20 contract. I don't even use a 27 contract on my 300K. I use a 20 contract. So you're like way past the threshold there. For you, I mean, if you wanted to use 20, you could use 20 probably. Yeah, if you use 20 contracts, you're still below the threshold. Oh, my bad. Can you see it right here? Nightmare. Let me move it over here. Yeah, so your threshold is basically your max loss on your 250K would be 1,625, right? So if that's the case, and depending on your trading habits, if you're able to like if you have a high win rate, you can do like 4 losses back to back, you'll be fine because you probably that won't happen. So the max you want to risk is probably 1,625. So for 27 contracts, you're gonna be risking 2,025, which is a little too high. That's like higher. I'm on a 300K and I'm not even taking that much. I'm using a 20. So on a 20, you'll be risking 1,500. So basically this will allow you to lose X amount of points, or lose X amount of trades per whatever, and still be okay and not blow the account. See, Nightmare said, well, if you're talking about this strategy here, this strategy is a 15-15. So you're gonna go 15 a little more. So this is if you're using a 10, then yeah, you'd be well, I mean, depends on like what you're gonna be looking for. If you're doing a 10, then I mean the formula is easy. So if you can do the math yourself, Nightmare. The formula is put your contract in first, right? 20. Each contract is worth $5 times 5, and then whatever points you're trying to like look for. So times that times 10, it's 1,000, right? If your stop loss is 20, 5 times that times 20, 5,000, right? You're not going to risk that much. Or shit, my bad. Numbers off. 20 times 5 times 20, you're gonna be risking 2,000 against that. Again, that's past your threshold. So kind of just depends on what you're looking for. But again, your threshold should be 1,625. So whatever you base the math on that specific number. So again, right here, guys, price came back to this level. Again, I wouldn't reuse a level, but if you guys wanted to reuse a level, this would be the level right here. And you can see how it pushed up and it went straight to TP again right there. So I'm just showing you guys examples of this here. There hasn't really been too many of the other entries that have come up. So I'm just showing you guys like little ways of using the levels here. If you wanted to use it for a second touch, but I wouldn't use it. I'd probably just use one level per touch versus multiple touches. All right, Jonathan. So Jonathan's done for the week. We'll see you back here on Monday, Jonathan. Have a great weekend. Nightmare said, and YM would be better for passing evals and NQ. Oh, I don't trade NQ, so I wouldn't know. I feel like YM is just easier to calculate your risk. NQ, you can calculate your risk. I just don't know how much each point is worth. It's the same. It's the same formula. It's just I don't know what it is because I don't trade NQ. But you can pass on either one. I mean, I don't think there's one doesn't really make a big difference. Yeah. So Nightmare said I just want to pass the evals. NQ has been taking my profits back and I won't trade news again as I blew enough accounts already. Yeah, no, trading news is tricky. So I think you just got to figure out what works best for you, right? For YM works best for me, so that's all I trade. If NQ works best for you, but it sounds like it's not, probably don't trade NQ, right? Maybe stick to YM. I think YM is a lot smoother than NQ. So for me personally, I I like the way YM moves. It's a lot smoother and it's easier to catch. So price is breaking the structure right here, guys. Price is breaking the price structure of 39,050. If you guys are looking for another levels entry, you can. The thing that I want to warn you about is that it's touching the sessions right here. So there might be some manipulation. But if you guys want to take it, this is going to be the entry right here at the 50 mark. I'm not taking it. I'm just marking it up for you guys. Like I said, I'm done trading for the week. I've made my profits and I'm pretty happy with what I did for the week so far. So I'm going to chill. But this right here could be another possible levels opportunity if price comes down and fills it. So again, same pattern, break and retest of the whole number. Yeah, Nightmare said NQ works for prop firms that don't have trailing rules. NQ is not for Apex. Yeah, NQ is tough because, like you said, the trailing drawdown, right? You could whenever I see people trade NQ, they don't really scalp it. They try to go for the bigger moves, and it makes it almost impossible on Apex because you can blow your account in profit. I've seen it before, and I've done it. It's actually happened to me before. The last time we were doing the evals. So the last time when we first started the evals, I was in profit like 305,000 or 310,000. The trailing drawdown still hit me. So I got screwed. So I feel your pain with that, Nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's like your name. It sucks for people who trade that way. But for us, since we scalp here, it's not really a big deal. It's we're used to just, getting in and out of the positions versus holding on to them for like a 100 tick move or something like that. So guys, this entry never got filled right here. And there's a lot of sessions up here. So I don't think this is really a good area to be trading it anyways. So yeah, other than that, I think we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon, guys. I think the market's starting to pick up a little bit, but it is getting a lot risky because of like where price is currently at. So let's just scroll out a little bit. There's just a lot of sessions around this area. So I don't want to influence you guys to take risky trades. That's the biggest part here. And we were closing out this week good, so I don't want to jinx it. So let me just add up my profits for the day and the week so far. So profits over here, we'll do 1,000 times 20 plus 480 plus 6,160. So 26,640 for the day. And then for the week, let me see, I gotta add this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Times 11. plus 6116 1324. Okay, so yeah, slight recovery from today. And I just want to close out this week and then pay, of course. So for the day, I'm up 26,640 for the day. And then for the week, I am and you guys will start to see more accounts on my list here. I have like one extra account because of the PA. And I'm just gonna keep adding more PAs to here. It's easier to pass so if you guys are trying to pass an eval with like the fact that you're doing a 250K nightmare, it's going to be difficult, right? Because it's difficult for me on the 300K and I'm pretty consistent. So if you guys want to pass and you guys just want an eval pretty easily, it's going to be the 50K because the profit goal and the threshold is so close. So the 50K is going to be the easiest to pass. I think the second easiest to pass is the 150K because it's pretty much it's 1 to 2 with your profit goal and your trailing threshold. When you go anything higher than that, it becomes a little more tricky. Like the 150K here is kind of tricky. It's no longer balanced. The 250K is super unbalanced, and the 300K is just it's crazy. The 300K is just it's a whole different story. It's something that I don't recommend anybody do unless you have the patience to build it out, because this is going to take a long time to build out. It's going to take me maybe a month, maybe 2 months to get PA'd on those, but you know, I can pass a 50K or 100K like in a day. It's not that hard because the goal is not that high. Like I can literally pass this. I'll do the max contract and then just do the same entries we're doing. So for example, right here, you guys see the entry that we took for today. So the profit goal is 6,000, right? Max contract is 14. So 14 times 5 times 15. So basically you need 6 wins to pass a 100K account. So it makes it super, super easy. Yeah, it makes it super easy. Yeah, Nightmare said I got it for the long term. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, for you, if you're looking at it from a long-term perspective, then you know, great. The 250K is fine. That's the same with me. I'm looking at the 300Ks as like, so I'm taking them with 20 contracts now, and once I get all those PA'd, I'm going to take 10 contracts. So it's going to, in the long run, it's going to be very beneficial. In the short term, it kind of sucks. So like right now, I'm having like a couple PA accounts, and then I'm still running the 300Ks on the side to get those on the next level. And then once those are PA, then I'll just switch them with 100Ks. So I think my goal every week is to, or not every week, but at least every month is to get at least 4 PAs. So I have one PA that I made today, of course. Do another PA maybe next week, maybe the week after that. Because I'm trading them individually, one by one. It's just too risky to trade like that on the on all of them, and then YOLO them and then end up blowing them. It's just not worth the risk. So, all right, guys, it's 7:44 right now. I think this is about it for the day and about it for the week. If you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. If you guys have questions, you know, feel free to reach out. You guys can message me on Discord. But for the most part, I think we're pretty much done for the day and for the week so far. There's not really too much going on here. I think price will probably consolidate from here up until maybe 8 o'clock. And then from 8 o'clock until 9. Kim's asking, what's the last day for the current discount? So the last day for the current discount is, I think it's in 4 days. So you probably want to take advantage of that. That's why I pretty much PA'd the account today, because I was like, okay, it's 90% off. I might as well pass. And it's 1 day pass. So I'm like, no brainer. Let me just pass real quick. And that's how I got the PA. So yeah, there's 4 days left on it. Again, if you guys want to get the discount, just go on the Discord. If you guys are new here, go to the FAQs over here on the Discord, and then you guys can use my code here, and then it'll give you whatever the highest code is. This is like from an actual admin on the on the Apex, so it's always going to be updated to like whatever is, whatever is recent. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah, definitely, Nightmare. Glad to see that you're on here today. So if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back here on Monday.